Number 17, fiscal year 2019-20 citywide sole source and professional services purchases by someone who just turned 50 years old today. Happy birthday, Spencer.
Happy birthday, Spencer.
Thank you. That could be a rumor.
Feeling different?
I don't have a bio prepared for you.
Welcome to
this evening.
AARP.
Right. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Tonight I bring before you the citywide sole source and professional services purchases for fiscal year 2019-20. This is an annual staff report that councils have been had been requesting for since about 2008. Staff report is not for a single purchase. It is rather a collection of many purchases staff is anticipating in fiscal year 19-20. This item is intended to streamline. Each item on the staff report would normally have to come to council separately otherwise. This will bring further awareness to the types of large purchases the city departments make overall. So items on this list have these things on the slide in common. They're all future purchases. They have a high likelihood that invoices with the vendors listed on the attachment will total more than $50,000, and they do not require a formal bid process in the coming year. So they got on the list in these ways for the sole source and professional services items. These are either the only known provider, the only responsive vendor to this point, or these vendors have specialized knowledge or expertise in the area for which we're using them. The multi-year agreements that are on the list, such as Landscape by Stencil, were authorized by council for multiple years, so staff has added them to this report just to be more clear make a more complete list of the large purchases that we expect in the coming year. Existing systems, vendors that service existing systems that have proprietary technology or were being consistent. For instance, John Deere or Spillman or Data 911. Spillman and Data 911, there are no other vendors that work on these systems for the police department. And John Deere, we own a lot of green equipment, and these tractors are taken to the John Deere dealer. Parts are purchased from a John Deere dealer, etc., for maintenance. Piggyback, just wanted to add that staff does verify value when we're piggybacking another contract. So there's CMAS, there's state contracts out there. There are agencies that have already done the work to search out the best price, and we're happy to not utilize staff time in reinventing that wheel. And then there are vendors on here that staff put on, just because these vendors just fulfill a need that's very common throughout the year, and have been in the past very successful at navigating through the 3 quotes process. So they've been the competitive bidder, and it's not to say we aren't going to continue to vet them, but this will be very routine vendors that don't have to come before this council on agenda items over and over.
Mayor, just a point of clarification. So in the staff report, we actually don't have Valley Truck and Tractor listed in the staff report.
That is, thank you very much, Interim City Manager Langley. I have removed that item from the staff report, but it's still a great example.
Age thing.
Yes. And I want to point out that there is this nuance that happens when we're making purchases, especially when we use a vendor a lot throughout the year. So we have this $50,000 limitation that the city manager can authorize. And then above that, 1 penny above that, it comes before council. So it just happens sometimes throughout the year that one department or a couple of departments will utilize a vendor up to, say, $49,000. And then another department might come in and have a $2,000 need with that same vendor. Well, by the rules of our purchasing policy, the person that wants to go spend $2,000, or the department that wants to spend $2,000, has to bring that item before council. to stay within the purchasing policy practice. And so that nuance has also is a reason that staff will put items on this list. They don't know exactly that we're going to spend the amount of money that's on here, but the likelihood is there, and so they add it to the report. So with that, I will attempt to answer any questions.
Any member of the public care to comment on that? All right. How about council comments or a motion or questions?
I have a comment, or more of a request, is that reviewing the entire list, and some questions were answered, which was helpful prior to the meeting today. But the total amount fiscal impact is, $7 million. And so I had made the request that if we can have a mid-year reporting on the status of some of the funding, because it's not clear if the funds are utilized all the way through or nothing, from July, to December, perhaps, right? It could be all used or none or partial, whatever that may be. And do we have a system that is easy to monitor that within, a few, clicks of the mouse on the computer?
We do not, but the finance department will make it look easy.
I love that answer.
We
Okay.
should be able to come back to you by, if it works for the council, maybe a January update. Either, I'm not sure if you would want to see a full staff report brought to council, or if you would want to see memos in your box, or something on the consent calendar.
I think that, what I'm most interested in is to know of these vendors that we have continued relationship because they've met the threshold of quality, what have you, that we set for them to continue with us, is that I want to know those where we're at, if there's money that we can release to utilize for other things. So that's $7 million is a big drop in the budget for us. And so
perhaps I can add some clarification. So these funds are not going to be encumbered with this staff report. So that's the
Okay.
total value of the total estimates.
Oh, thank you.
For all these vendors. And the funds that would be associated with these purchases have already been planned for by the departments.
Okay.
And you may even actually have two vendors on this list that may be competing for the same business, and only one would be utilized. But the one that is utilized would have to come before council, and it's considered a routine purchase. Doesn't require a formal bid, and so staff put it on the list to streamline and be transparent.
Thank you for clarifying that. I didn't read that well. It wasn't clear to me in the report, and I missed that. It's just an actual projection of potential estimate of purchase, but not tied to a specific budget.
Correct.
And so I'm interested to know connected to the budget and where we're at. That was my question, more so of mid-year review.
Thank you.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Councilmember, we will be happy to come back in January.
Okay. Thank you, Spencer, and happy
Pleasure.
birthday.
Thank you very much.
All right. Anybody else? All right.
Through the
Time for a
mayor,
motion.
I'll make a motion that we adopt a resolution pre-authorizing the city manager or designee to enter into citywide sole source and professional services purchases from July 1, 2019 through June 30, 2020 for specified items based on each purchase recommendation being in the best interest of the city.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you.